The Constitution 129th Amendment Bill 2024, a bill to further amend the Constitution of India, be it enacted by the Parliament in the 75th year of Republic of India as follows. This act may be called as Constitution 129th Amendment Act 2024. It shall come into force on such date as the central government may by notification in official gazette appoint. After Article 82 of the Constitution, the following article shall be inserted. Article 82A. The President may by a public notification issued on the date of the first sitting of the House of the People after general election bring into force the provision of this article, and the date of the notification shall be called the appointed date. Notwithstanding anything in Article 83 and Article 172, the term of all legislative assemblies constituted in any general election held after the appointed date or before the expiry of full term of the House of the People shall come to an end on the expiry of the full term of the House of the People. Notwithstanding in this constitution or any law for the time being in force or before the expiry of the full term of the House of the People, the Election Commission shall conduct general elections to the House of the People and all legislative assemblies simultaneously, and the provisions of Part 15 shall apply to these elections mutatis mutandis, with such modifications as may become necessary and with which the Election Commission may by order specify. The expression simultaneous elections shall mean general elections held for constituting the House of the People and all legislative assemblies together. If the Election Commission is of the opinion that the elections to any legislative assembly cannot be conducted along with the general election to the House of the People, it may make a recommendation to the President to declare by an order that the election to that legislative assembly may be conducted at a later date, where the elections to a legislative assembly is deferred under Clause 5, then notwithstanding anything in Article 172, the full term of legislative assembly shall end on same date as the end of the full term of the House of People constituted in the general election. The Election Commission shall at the time of notifying the election to the Legislative Assembly under this article declare the date on which full term of the Legislative Assembly shall come to an end. In Article 83 of the Constitution, after Clause 2, the following clause shall be inserted, namely, the 5-year period from the date of first meeting of House of People shall be referred to as full term of the House of the People. Where the House of People is dissolved sooner than expiry of its full term, the period between its date of dissolution and 5 years from the date of first meeting shall be referred to as unexpired term. Notwithstanding anything in Clause 2, where the House of People is dissolved sooner than expiry of its full term, the new House of People constituted pursuant to elections occasioned by such dissolution, unless sooner dissolved, shall continue for such period as is equal to the unexpired term of the immediately preceding House of the People, and expiration of this period shall operate as a dissolution of the House. The House of the People constituted under Clause 5 shall not be a continuation of the previous House of the People, and all the consequences of dissolution shall apply to the House of the People referred to in Clause 4. The election for constituting the House of the People for its unexpired term shall be referred to as midterm election, and the election held after the expiry of the full term shall be referred to as general election. In Article 172 of the Constitution, amendment of Article 172, A. After Clause 1, the following clause shall be inserted, namely, 1a. The 5-year period from the date of first meeting of State Legislative Assembly shall be referred to as full term of the State Legislative Assembly. After Clause 2, the following clause shall be inserted, namely, where the State Legislative Assembly is dissolved sooner than the expiry of its full term, the period between its date of dissolution and 5 years from the date of its first meeting shall be referred to as its unexpired term. Unexpired term, notwithstanding in any Clause 1 where the State Legislative Assembly is dissolved sooner than the expiry of its full term and a new State Legislative Assembly is continued A new state legislative assembly is constituted pursuant to elections occasioned by such dissolution, then such state legislative assembly, unless sooner dissolved, shall continue for such period as is equal to the unexpired term of the immediately preceding state legislative assembly, and the expiration of this period shall operate as dissolution of the assembly. The state legislative assembly shall constituted under clause 4 shall not continue of the previous state legislative assembly, and all the consequences of dissolution shall apply to the state legislative assembly referred to in clause 3. In Article 327 of the Constitution, after the words delimitation of constituencies, the words conduct of simultaneous elections shall be inserted. The general election statement of objects and reasons. The general elections to the House of People and all state legislative assemblies were held simultaneously in the years 1951 to 52, 1957, 62, and 67. However, due to the premature dissolution of some legislative assemblies in 1968 and 69, the cycle of holding polls simultaneously with the House of People got disrupted. The Law Commission of India, in its 170th report on reform of electoral laws, inter alia, suggested that holding separate elections for state legislative assemblies should be an exception rather than a rule. According to the Commission, the general rule should be to conduct elections once every 5 years for the House of the People and all state legislative assemblies together. The department related Parliamentary Standing Committee on Personal Public Grievances and Laws and Law and Justice, in its 79th report, had also examined the feasibility of holding simultaneous elections to the House of the People Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies and recommended an alternative and practicable methods of holding simultaneous elections is needed and expressed confidence that a solution would be found to reduce the frequency of electoral processes. There is an imperative need of holding of simultaneous elections for various reasons, and given that elections have become expensive and time consuming, the imposition of model code of conduct in several parts of the country which are poll bound put on hold the entire developmental programs, cause disruption of normal public life, impact the functioning of services, and also curtail the involvement of manpower from their core activities for deployment for prolonged period for election duties. The high-level committee under the chairmanship of Sri Ramnath Kovind, former President of India, was constituted on 2nd September 2023 to examine the issue of simultaneous elections and make recommendations for holding simultaneous elections in the country. After due deliberation and examination of all material available on record and consultations held on the subject, the committee submitted its recommendation to the Honorable Prime Minister President on March 14, 2024. The government has accepted the recommendations of the High Level Committee. The High Level Committee inter alia has recommended that in the first stage of the House of People and Legislative Assemblies should be held simultaneously for implementation of the High Level Committee. A bill, namely Constitution 129th Amendment Bill, is proposed providing for holding of simultaneous elections to the House of People and all legislative assemblies. The bill proposes to insert a new Article 82A, simultaneous elections to the House of People and all legislative assemblies, and to amend Article 83, duration of House of Parliament, and Article 172, duration of state legislation, and Article 327, power of Parliament to make provision with respect to elections to legislatures. The aforesaid bill inter alia provides that after its enactment, a notification is to be issued by the President on the date of the first sitting of the House of People after general election, and that date of notification shall be called the appointed date. The tenure of the House of People shall be 5 years from that appointed date. The tenure of all legislative assemblies constituted by elections to legislative assemblies after the appointed date and before the expiry of the full term of the House of People shall come to an end on the expiry of the full term of the House of the People. Thereafter, all general elections to the House of People and all legislative assemblies shall be held together simultaneously. In case of dissolution of the House and People of the People or Legislative Assembly sooner than the full term of the House of People or Legislative Assembly, the term of House or Assembly constituted pursuant to election shall be for the unexpired term of the House or the Assembly. The bill seeks to achieve the above objectives. Extract from the Constitution of India. Subject to the provisions of this Constitution, Parliament may from time to time by law make provision with respect to all matters relating to or in connection with election to either House of Parliament or House or to the House or either House of Legislature of a state, including preparation of electoral rolls, delimitation of constituencies, and all other matters necessary for securing the due constitution of such house or houses. Power of Parliament to make provision with respect to elections to legislatures. Next is, here is the bill summary for Constitution 129th Amendment Bill 2024. The Constitution 129th Amendment Bill 2024 was introduced on Lok Sabha on December 17, 2024. The bill seeks to empower the Election Commission to conduct elections for Lok Sabha and all state assemblies at the same time, referred to as simultaneous election. The bill seeks to empower the Election Commission to conduct elections for Lok Sabha and all state assemblies at the same time, referred to as simultaneous election. Commencement of simultaneous election. To bring the provisions of the bill into force, the President may issue notification on the date of the first sitting of the Lok Sabha after general election. The term of all state assemblies constituted after the date of the notification will expire with the expiry of full term of Lok Sabha. Hence, elections to the Lok Sabha and all state assemblies thereafter will be conducted together. The term of all state assemblies constituted after the date of notification will expire with the expiry of full term of Lok Sabha. Hence, election to Lok Sabha and all state assemblies thereafter will be conducted together. Premature dissolution of Lok Sabha or state assemblies. If Lok Sabha or a state assembly is dissolved sooner than its full term of 5 years, fresh election will be held for a term equal to remainder of the 5-year term. This will synchronize elections for Lok Sabha and all assemblies in every 5 years. Differing a state election. If the election commission is of the opinion that election for a particular state assembly cannot be held as part of the simultaneous election, it may make a recommendation to the President in this regard. Upon this recommendation, the President may issue an order to conduct election for the state assembly at a later date. Where the election for a state assembly is deferred to after such a simultaneous election, its term will end with the end of the Lok Sabha constituted in that simultaneous election.